All right, I'm glad you signed up. Okay, now I promise you 10 minutes a day and maybe a little bit more, but not by much. So let's go ahead and dig in. All right, websites. Let's talk about that because most every dentist in Warner Robins has one, and it's obvious you don't know why. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It's true. Okay, so I know you should. You know you should. So you bought one, and you know it's supposed to bring in sales, but how? I mean, can you really and truly tell me about your website's specific role in your digital marketing and sales strategy without sounding like you skimmed Google for the answer, guys? Okay? That's important, extremely, because whether you built the site yourself, and it looks like you did, by the way, just saying, or you paid somebody a small fortune to make it gorgeous and amazing, all you really got is a visual design product, right? Worse than that, you got an online brochure, and we know where most brochures end up, right? So your website's not doing anything. Sales stink. Nobody's coming to you. Barely a flicker of new business. Let me tell you why. You have a message crisis. You or your web designer or that creative agency you paid buku bucks for are literally confusing potential patients. And I know it's not on purpose, but confused people are not going to buy, guys. So that's what's happening to most of you. Now, here's the deal. You were trained as a dentist. Plus, you got patients waiting on you. You're a boss. So you hire professionals. You bought a pre-made template. But web designers, graphic designers, they're trained to design beautiful visuals, not the words that communicate who you are, why you're different, and why you're valuable to patients in a language they understand. These are facts. I know it because a long time ago, I started out my career with Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex as a graphic and web designer. So again, we design and build for looks. But what I learned the hard way is that a crystal clear message drives action and creates change, not design, because that's what makes people choose everything else. Design, marketing, just deliver the message or boost the success of delivery. Think about it. I mean, does design really get you to buy, or do the words, the message, the story surrounding a product or service do the heavy lifting, right? Exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you eliminate all that confusion. First, by teaching you how to simplify and hyper-focus your message so the audience you're talking to actually takes action, actually listens, right? Then I'm going to dig into how to use that message to create a website that produces, right? To get that gets actual results. And then in the last part, I'll walk you through an example of how it all comes together. Okay, so first things first. How do you get new patients with your message? I know that's your burning question, or it should be. So let's dig into that. All right. Tactic number one, talk simply and clearly. Guys, I get it. Dentists, smart people, but that's you guys. The rest of us, not so much. Okay. Not when it comes to your field anyway. Another way to put it, if your patients had any interest in dentistry, then we would have gone to dental school too. So using a bunch of big words and describing your services all dentally, it's just confusing. And when you confuse, you lose people. And there's a reason for that. And it's not because we potential patients are incapable of understanding what you say. They just don't have a reason to try. The brain, it does two things, right? It has two jobs. Make sure we survive and thrive, and then conserve energy. Two things. And we're doing that. And survival and thriving, by the way, isn't so much life and death anymore, but it has evolved into social survival, right? Relationships, making sure they're strong, upping my career status, time management, because we're always busy, belonging to a tribe. So what I'm getting at is you got to communicate your audience of patients how you're helping them survive and thrive in those social situations. Otherwise, you're going to lose their interest. Otherwise, they're going to data dump everything you say. They won't hear you. So when you start talking about serving the Warner Robins community for 30 years and, providing exceptional dental care and comfortable atmospheres, and none of that registers at all. It speaks nothing to your patients' survival or thriving in context of their life. It's all about you. So conserving energy, let's talk about that. So your brain burns calories like 600 a day or more, depending on what you're doing. That's why you feel exhausted after you had a tough day at the practice. Even though it's not manual labor, you burn mad calories. So your brain regulates all that, balances with everything else going on in the day in life to make sure your body's good to go in case you got to run, fight or flight, right? But that's why you don't know how many trees you drove past on the way home. Why waste the calories? That knowledge doesn't help you survive. So again, when you fluff up your website homepage talking about history or services or quality care, and you don't tie it very quickly and very clearly to those that whole social survival trigger, and when you use advanced vocabulary or medical terminology to describe your value, new patients who come in contact with your marketing, they're going to walk, right? you're making them work. You're making them waste energy, and you're not giving them a reason to. So focus talk on social survival and thriving situations, and how you tie into it, and do it in a language that's down to earth. Don't make anybody run for the dictionary. Okay. Cut the insider speech. Now, think about your website. Are you talking these things, this stuff to help you make your patients socially survive and thrive? Or are you just bragging about yourself and your staff and what you do? Because those are two different stories, and the people you wish were paying you only care about one of them. Make sense? All right, so check out video 2. We're going to talk about the 5 things your website needs to change to get results.